This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven son. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching or participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Phatts TV on this beautiful Thursday night, April the 8th, 2021. At least I hope where you're at it's beautiful. Certainly where I'm at it's beautiful. How's it in your underground bunker, non-genetically proven son?
Gorgeous.
Is it beautiful in your underground bunker, huh?
Yeah. I spent most of the day outside.
Good.
I had a tea time 9:15 this morning. Okay. Yes, as a college kid, I got up at 8 a.m.
No way.
Yeah. And then I played disc golf after it.
The life of a college kid, what can I say?
I call you, you go, you look tired. Yeah, I was half napping when my alarm went off at 6:45.
Well, at least you're louder tonight. So
that's something.
That's good.
Says I walked 9.3 miles today, 20,000 steps.
Okay. Didn't take a card out on the course today, did you?
No, it costs $18, which is ridiculous.
And you're a college kid. So wait a minute. Your membership doesn't cover cart costs.
Nope.
Got ya.
After 3 p.m., they're only 10, and every now and then I'll get one then.
Got ya.
But no, I could walk. I'm a big boy. They're not that heavy.
Got ya. So, we're down to the final 8 in the sitcom bracket.
Hey.
As you know. So we
had... Yeah, there's like 4 1 seeds left.
We had some matches. Well, yeah, there's 4 1 seeds left.
The 4 1 seeds are still alive.
We'll see how they did. So... let's put up the bracket here. Which, by the way, you guys were a little disappointing. I didn't get too many votes this time.
People had enough of my crap.
Yes.
Because they think it's the same thing, I guess. It's like, no, I clearly put, second round, Sweet 16, Elite 8.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. The picture of the isn't coming up. All right, so we won't put up the bracket, but we don't need to. We know the matches. You know the matches. We all know the matches. You're going to have to watch the message board since I don't have the message. Actually, I can put up the message board because even I know the matches. All right, so in the upper left, we had the number 1 seed, MASH, going up against, I believe it was the 10 seed, a surprise, Three's Company. Come and knock on our door with the ravishing Suzanne Summers, Joyce DeWitt, and the guy who died, John Ritter. But anyway, going up against MASH, we all know MASH. Korea, hospital, Any chance of an upset here? You think? I mean, obviously, you're young. You don't know a lot of these sitcoms here.
Yeah, I'm just going to say MASH one, just because I know you've watched MASH.
I think...
I've seen MASH.
Have you? Okay.
Every now and then I would watch a little bit when you were...
Right. Yeah, I was just going to say, how many of these final 8 have you seen? I know you've watched this, an episode of 2 of All in the Family now.
Yeah.
Okay, and you say you watched a little bit of MASH. I know you've never seen Happy Days. You've never seen Three's Company. You've never seen Hogan's Heroes. At least I don't think you have. You certainly never seen I Love Lucy.
That's where you're wrong.
You've seen I Love Lucy?
I did a book report or something on some sort of sitcoms, and I remember talking about I Love Lucy, and I've seen scenes of it. I haven't seen a full episode, but I've seen some of its comedy.
Okay.
It's 50s and 60s comedy. What else do I have to say?
You may have caught an episode or two of the Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island. That's possible, I guess.
Possibly.
But anyway, moving on to the final four at 68 to 32%, we do not have an upset. MASH. Moving on.
Chalk. More chalk.
Moving on to the final four. So MASH, first one in. So we move now to the lower left. We have the number 1 seed, Happy Days, going up against the number 3 seed, Brady Bunch. Marcia. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, who had the prettier girls as reoccurring characters, main characters? Aaron Moran? Nah, not really. Maureen McCormick? Yeah. Marcia. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Now, all the different girls that hung around the Fonz, there were some good-looking ones, and, Heather and Leather Tuscadero. Sure, why not? So, this one was ripe for an upset. Potentially. Non-genetically proven son, any chance? Do we have an upset here?
Sure, why not? I don't like chalk.
You're thinking it's a story of a lovely lady makes it through, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Well, with 58 to 42%, moving on, Happy Days.
Chalk! Yes!
Chalk.
More chalk.
More chalk. More chalk. Then we had another number 1 seed in the upper right, I Love Lucy. Lucille Ball, Ricky Ricardo, Latin, Lucille Ball, redhead. Now, obviously, the show was in black and white, so you didn't know she was a redhead. Very funny comedy. Very funny lady. There's some very funny episodes of I Love Lucy. The two that I always remember is when she goes to work at the candy factory, and the candy's coming out so quick, she just starts like shoving it down her shirt. And then the one where she becomes like a winemaker, and she's like dancing, stepping on the grapes to crush, to make the wine. Going up against Hogan's Heroes. Hogan's Heroes, a cult show. Again, bunch of people basically winning World War II from a POW camp in Germany. That was a 10 seed. That had some upsets. Beat Mr. Ed. Beat the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Beat the Monkees. So it made it pretty far. Potential for an upset here? Maybe. I know if I had a vote, I would have voted for Hogan's Heroes. What do you think? Do we have an upset?
No, probably not. More chalk.
82%. Now, why can't 82% go for Hogan's Heroes since it's scored 3 upsets? No. Yeah, 3 upsets so far. Why can't it make it a 4th?
Yeah, and I Love Lucy's, I believe, been winning by the most.
Moving on, at 82%, I Love Lucy.
Chalk.
Chalk.
We're pretty good at choosing the seeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're pretty good at choosing the seeds.
We must know our
supposed to happen.
We must know our sitcoms.
Or you must know your sitcoms. I think I'll be a little bit better once we get to the 90s through now.
And those ones, I could probably come up with at least 2 of the top 4 in the next one.
Oh, duh.
And they are?
The Office, Big Bang Theory.
Well,
And Seinfeld. There's another one.
Seinfeld was my other one. The Office and Seinfeld were the two I was thinking.
I figured Big Bang because everyone watches Big Bang.
That could end up being a number one seed too. All right, so we had this was the chalk bracket. This is the only one where we had a number one versus a number two. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
All in the Family, Archie, Edith, Meathead, Little Girl, the Jeffersons, Sammy Davis Jr. kissing Archie. Going up against Gilligan's Island. 3-hour tour, and yet a lot of them had a change of clothes for every episode. Yeah. Again, for those of you that have male genitalia that are of my age, you had a choice back then. Were you a Ginger guy or a Mary Ann guy? Most of us were probably Mary Ann guys. I gotta think. So, as much as I like All in the Family, Gilligan's Island was rather popular, especially in syndication. I think that was a show that became more popular after it ended, similar to the Brady Bunch. I mean, you still see episodes of both of them on a lot. And actually, you still do of Hogan's Heroes, too. Hogan's Heroes is on like seven days a week. Gilligan's Island and Brady Bunch, at least on my satellite dish, I can't find 7 days a week. But Hogan's Heroes, you can. All in the Family, still on in the upper channels. So, I had stated back when we started that of all the shows here, All in the Family was one of my favorites. You know, All in the Family, The Benny Hill Show, and Married with Children. They were my three. This one was close. 53 to 47%. Very close.
Full House.
You know, I was talking to somebody who's older than me, and I was actually telling them how Full House was making a run, and he says to me, like, who did they beat? And I said Cheers, and he it sounded like he threw something. Let's put it that way. And then he cursed a little bit. He's like, who the hell's voting in your thing that they would put Full House above Cheers? I'm like, I don't know. Probably the kids that, you know, you have to put warning labels on Tide Pods. Yes.
That's not my generation.
Yes.
That's like this generation below me.
Anyway.
That's like high schoolers now.
So, do we have all four number one seeds, or does a number two sneak in there? Which this would have been the line for Houston.
By the way, Tom Yost is a Mary Ann guy.
Good job, Tom. Good job.
Sure, we'll do the 2 seed because All in the Family doesn't ever win convincingly.
You know what? And you're right. Well, other than against Chico and the Man. Yeah, you're right. It hasn't won.
I feel like people my age have never heard of it. I've asked around and they're like, what's that? Never heard of it.
You're right. It certainly hasn't won convincingly. We have all four number one seeds moving on. All chalk. All chalk.
There's one. That's what's supposed to happen. In the NCAA tournament, it's supposed to be 4 number one seeds. I don't know if that's ever happened.
It happened not all that long ago.
That's so boring.
I know. I certainly know it's happened in the girls a hell of a lot more often than it's happened in the guys.
I had to explain to a few people that girls basketball is nowhere like guys. The best teams in girls basketball will not be beat by average teams. It just doesn't work like that. Because the best teams are just that much better.
Yes.
Gonzaga isn't that much better than UCLA, per se.
Yes. Ever make the final?
Hey, what a Final Four.
So let's see here. Here's your breakdown. Blah 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. How does seeds? I don't want to know how seeds perform. I just want to know how has it ever happened. I know it's happened before that all number 1 seeds have made it. So anyway, all number 1 seeds make ours. So, MASH against Happy Days. What do you think's going to happen here?
MASH. Blowout.
I kind of agree. I Love Lucy and All in the Family. Now, let's remember, when we ranked these, MASH was the overall number 1 seed. All in the Family was the next number 1 seed. I Love Lucy was the next number 1 seed. And then Happy Days was the 4th number 1 seed. So, if we were creating a line based on how we ranked them, All in the Family would be the favorite over I Love Lucy. But I Love Lucy certainly has had an easier time making it here than All in the Family has. To recap, go ahead, talk while I pull it up.
I was going to say, based on people that vote, I still think I Love Lucy is a more recognizable title versus All in the Family. Because even me, I knew what I Love Lucy was before we started this bracket. I've heard of it, and I kind of knew what it was about. It was a comedy about a girl, with a girl.
Your generation probably thinks it's about sex.
Probably. Before this bracket, I never heard of All in the Family. So I'm gonna say, based on that, and based on the other people that vote, I'm gonna say I Love Lucy 60-40.
Oh yeah. So I Love Lucy beat Charles in Charge, Sanford and Son, Leave It to Beaver, and Hogan's Heroes. All in the Family defeated Chico and the Man, Different Strokes, Bewitched, and Gilligan's Island. While we're going over it, might as well go over the other ones quick. Happy Days beat Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley, Married with Children, and the Brady Bunch. And MASH beat It's a Living, The Jeffersons, The Muppet Show, and Three's Company. So, you have until next Thursday at 6 o'clock to vote. So, get out there and vote. Tell all your friends. Tell all your relatives. Tell all your ex-husbands and ex-wives. Tell the people that clean your dirty underwear to vote. Let's get over 100 votes for these. See what we can find here. All right. So before we get to wrestling, let's talk a little bit about, very quickly, the Masters and the U.S. Open. U.S. Open bowling, Masters golf. So let's start with the Masters. Now, it started today. I did not get a chance to watch much of it. I was working very diligently today. Had a bunch of meetings. Today was like meeting day. But I know you watched it as much as you could when you actually weren't on the golf course. So, other than Justin Rose going nuts on the back nine, he went 6 under on the back nine.
Yeah, other than Justin Rose not playing Augusta, he's probably playing like Manor or maybe a par 3 course somewhere. I don't know. Because he certainly ain't playing Augusta because they are rough. That -3 that a couple people shot is unbelievable.
So,
in my opinion.
So explain rough. Like, what is making it rough today? Is it is it the weather? Is it if you drive it off the fairway, you're in trouble? Like at the U.S. Open, you don't drive on the fairway, you're in a lot of trouble.
It's dry.
Okay, so
the greens are rocks.
So the stump meter is pretty high. Okay.
The greens are rocks. There's no stopping your ball on the green.
Got it.
And one hole in particular, I mean, I'm watching what one person just drove off at 18, 465. It's kind of long. But hole 11 is 505 yards, par 4. Mm-hmm. There's a par 5 at Penn State that's less than that.
Well, you get that in majors. You see par 5s, 500-yard par 4s at majors a lot.
That's just crazy to think about. Like, even if the average pro hits at about 290, and so you're on average going to have 210 in on a par 4. I mean, granted, I understand that's a 6 iron maybe?
They're coming to take you away, haha.
Yeah. But as of right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people minus.
Hello, Kiana.
And 5 of them are -1.
Got ya.
A lot of plus 2s and 3s.
I would like to see some statistics on if the average professional golfer pars more 500-yard par 4s or more 320-yard par 4s. Because those short holes are hard.
Well, most of the time on a short hole, they'll bunker it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the green will be small.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of top pros actually don't go for it unless they need to.
Right.
Because they're not stupid.
Or if the wind is in their favor.
Because most of the time there is, granted, a 320-yard par 4, a lot of them could hit it with a 3-wood. Then they might think about it more.
Mm-hmm.
DeChambeau could hit it with a 5-iron.
Got it. Yeah, of course. All right, so the Masters is on all the way through Sunday. I will be certainly watching it as much as I can on Saturday and as much as I can while I'm at Burke's on Sunday.
It's on Paramount Plus, so
I know.
What?
You could also watch a lot of it online at masters.com too.
Yeah.
All right, so by the way, Kiana, I had meatloaf last night and it was spectacular.
Did you eat the whole thing?
Yeah, but I what I bought, instead of making it in the big bread loaves, I bought half-size ones, disposable ones, and I made half of a big one. So, all right, bowling, U.S. Open. They're in round 3 right now. I believe it's after tonight they cut the field to 36, and then there's another qualifying round.
To 24, then.
24, right. Pattern number 1 played decently easy. Pattern number 2 played hard, except for AJ Chapman, who went minus on pattern 1 and plus 150 on pattern 2.
AJ Johnson, I thought you said.
Yeah, sorry, AJ Johnson.
Chapman went 2 miss and kept it on the lane.
Yes. Yes, AJ Johnson, first squad, his first round, he went minus for 8 games. So that means he didn't shoot 1,600 for 8. For 200 is even for a pro in tournaments. And on day 2, when the oil pattern was completely flat from board 2 to board 2, so there was no variation, which is the hardest pattern you could bowl on when it's flat like that. He went like plus 170, I think it was.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Today's pattern seems to be playing extremely easy.
It's 43 feet, but the gutter's in play.
The last I looked, so far only 2 people were negative on the day. So again, for 8 games, they were below 1,600. Our friend, Anthony Nyer, who we know very well, he's still in cut at this moment, and he bowls tonight yet. So hopefully he remains in the top 36. That would be cool because he's younger than you are.
So was Spencer Robarge, and he just finished 3rd at the Masters.
Yes. Anthony is either 18 or 19. I think he's 19. He's 2 years behind you in school.
Sophomore in college next year.
Next year. He's 2 years behind you. Very good.
Penn State University Park.
Might have a good bowling team for once.
I don't think he's going to bowl.
You never know. Who knows? So, they'll cut the field to top 36 tonight. Then they'll cut the field to top 24. Then they'll do, I believe it's 24 games of match play.
24 round-robin match play.
And then they'll cut the field to top 5. And we'll have the finals on Sunday, I believe. I think it's Sunday.
Yeah, like 2.
So, of course, you got the Masters on, you got bowling on, and I'll be sitting in a bowling center.
The U.S. Open will have probably really bad viewership. Not gonna lie.
Well, the earlier it's on, the better the chance that you'll have more people.
It's going to be on at 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Eastern time.
Look it up. Look up the schedule quick on Bull.com. So, at least the good news is when we're having our tournaments at Burke's Lanes, we're in the part of the restaurant that has a lot of TVs. So, we'll at least have a TV on or 2. So, we'll have bowling on and we'll have golf on. So, that's pretty cool. All right. So, I want to make sure we're done by 8 o'clock tonight because we're talking about wrestling now. Wrestling.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Which that would make sense because it's 11 out at Reno. So that would make complete sense. So it's probably on from 2 to 4. And that's fine because by 4 o'clock, the lead groups at the Masters will only be on about hole 5 or 6.
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. All right. So for those
Someone
of you
just went backwards.
For those of you that don't know, WrestleMania is this weekend. It's 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday. It's live this year, or last year. Who knows what was live and what wasn't. It's at Raymond James Stadium, so probably Tom Brady will probably be there. At least
Drunk.
one would think.
Drunk and throw the trophy again.
Sure. Maybe he'll even get in the ring. Who knows?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they plan that out.
You never know.
Do something in the ring.
So there's an offshoot brand of WWE called NXT. They had their quote-unquote WrestleMania. They have what's called takeover shows. They had part 1 last night and part 2 is tonight. So we'll talk about those matches first before we get to WrestleMania. Because I will say this right now, I like NXT better than WWE because the matches are just a hell of a lot better.
It's about wrestling.
It's about, right. There's no storylines. It's basically just about wrestling. And when they have their takeovers, there's usually only 4 or 5 matches. So these matches go like 20 to 30 minutes. And they're all high caliber matches.
To answer Tom's question, yes, that's the guy who was leading my and Austin senior year in Pittsburgh, but then he lost.
Correct. That is correct. Correct, Amundo. That is Anthony Nair. Our friend. Our good friend. So, tonight, the matches that are on NXT, they're unifying the Cruiserweight Championship in a ladder match. If you've never seen a ladder match, those are usually very thrilling. With Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin. Now, I know Daniel, the non-genetically proven son, hasn't been watching too much NXT lately, so he doesn't know any of these wrestlers. It's going to be a really good match. Again, it's a ladder match.
You said Cruiserweight?
Yes.
Those are always fun matches anyways, because they jump around.
They are, but these aren't those type of cruiserweights. Like, these aren't like the Mexican cruiserweights. Even though Santos Escobar is Mexican, but he's not.
So classic wrestling.
Especially out of Jordan Devlin, but it'll be neat on a ladder. I think Jordan Devlin will end up winning that match. Then we have the Women's Tag Team Championships, the newly created Women's Tag Team Championships. The champions are Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. They're going up against... these people have a name now. They're called The Way. It's Johnny Gargano's wife and their protege helper. I think this is very easy to call. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon will retain. They haven't had the title for very long. Speaking of Johnny Gargano, he takes on Bronson Reed in the North American title match. Bronson Reed won a 6-way challenge last night to get to face Johnny Gargano tonight. Bronson Reed goes about 380, and Johnny Gargano goes about 210.
So do you think it's time for Gargano to be called up, that he's going to lose it?
I don't know if he's going to get called up. They already did a call-up with him with Ciampa, and then Ciampa got hurt, and Gargano came back down. Ciampa wrestled last night against Walter! in an awesome match last night. But I will say this: Ciampa's better when he's the heel, not the face. He doesn't make a good face.
The face?
Yeah, he's been a face ever since he's come back from his neck surgery.
He doesn't have music to walk out to.
He makes a much better heel. Much better.
I think that's a cool heel versus heel, to be honest.
It would have been. And it was a great match. Walter wound up winning. He's been the European champion for a while now, like going on 2 years.
Has Walter ever lost?
Not in singles competition ever since he's come to NXT. It almost looked like he broke his hand last night. He put his hand right through the table. The top part of the table, it's probably made of plastic, but he put his hand like right through it.
Oh.
And by the time that match was done, Walter's chest was bleeding from taking chops. Like, for those that think like wrestling is completely fake, no, it's not. They may know the outcome of the match, but if you like saw Walter's chest last night at the end of that match when blood is just coming down it from getting chopped so much,
it's real. Just there's padding where people don't know there's padding. These boots that they wear, there's padding in those, and there's stuff in them that make it sound better, and blah, blah, blah.
But you know what?
They are hitting them.
There's not a lot of padding underneath the ring.
Not really.
And it is wood underneath that padding. So.
But they know how to fall, so it doesn't hurt.
So that's going to be an interesting match. I would probably think Johnny Gargano would win, but it certainly wouldn't surprise me because Bronson Reed is at some point going to get a push. Then we have the co-main events, where we have basically the breakup of what's their name? Undisputed Era. They basically broke up now. So you have Undisputed Era member Adam Cole going up against Kyle O'Reilly in an unsanctioned match. Basically what they mean by unsanctioned match is neither competitor could hold NXT responsible if they basically kill each other. Because they're basically going to kill each other in this match. I mean, like we talked earlier, they don't really do storylines in NXT, but they kind of set this up along a bit of a storyline, and supposedly like these two now absolutely hate each other. It's going to be an excellent match. Kyle O'Reilly puts on awesome matches every time he's in the ring anymore. His 2 matches against Finn Balor for the championship were phenomenal matches. Phenomenal matches. And this is going to be just as phenomenal. I would expect Kyle O'Reilly to win. Shocking, so Adam Cole hasn't gotten called up yet. What?
Does that mean there's no rules?
No, there's no rules.
Okay, so they can leave the ring and start throwing each other everywhere.
It wouldn't surprise me if they go outside somewhere. Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise. Although I don't know if the way it's set up, I don't know if they can. And then we have the title match: Finn Balor as the champion going up against Karrion Kross, who was the champion. He's actually never lost in NXT, but the night he won the championship from the guy that beat Adam Cole, who's now up in WWE, the fat guy. He got hurt in that match, so he had to relinquish the title. So I think Karrion Kross regains the title tonight over Finn Balor, but that's going to be another really good match. Finn Balor wasn't much when he was in WWE. I mean, they tried to give him a push as like he was the first undisputed champion, and he got hurt in that match. So he had to give it up, and then...
You don't like him because he doesn't drop kick, right?
Yeah. and I don't like the stomp. I don't like that, like where he jumps off the top rope and like basically tries to like collapse your chest.
You like him when he comes out as the devil.
Yeah, he hasn't done that in forever. So who knows? Maybe he'll do that tonight. So for those of you that have Peacock, it's on Peacock tonight. It's not on USA. So you have to go watch it on Peacock.
Maybe I'll watch it. Something to watch.
I don't know how you're going to watch it because I'm watching it, and that's one where we can't be on at the same time, I don't think.
Of course. So, gotta pay for it, but they can't let one more.
So, if we can't, spend the damn $10 and you get it for 4 months. 4 months. And then you could watch your EPL matches on there, too.
Ooh, yeah. Wait, that's almost over.
So? All right, so up to WrestleMania we go. Again, it's on for 2 nights. I think both nights they start at 8, not the normal 7 as they've been doing for a long time now. I believe there's 7 matches each night. So let's look at these matches. And feel free, for those of you that are watching, if you're into this sort of thing, let me know who you think is going to win these matches. So let's start on Saturday night with the Raw Tag Team Championship, The New Day versus AJ Styles and I don't know how you pronounce his name, if it's Omos or Amos, but he's like 8'6". He's like AJ Styles' enforcer. He's never wrestled in a match, at least in WWE. I don't know if he's been a wrestler before, but like the guy is tall. Scary looking and just probably the New Day has been like tag team champions like 116 times now. Like they lose it and eventually win it back. I think they'll keep it because they just won it back not so long ago, and I don't know, I can't see AJ Styles as a tag team champion. He's much more like he's a singles wrestler, so I just can't see him winning a tag team championship. So I would expect the New Day to win and hold on. Are you going to have any predictions in these?
I said the New Day is going to win.
Okay.
The problem is I don't know the storyline, so I'm just going to pick who I like.
Got
ya.
So
who
next,
I think might win.
Seth Rollins and Cesaro. That's going to be an interesting match. Cesaro, like he doesn't look like he's strong, but he's amazingly strong. he's Swiss. And like he's not built to be strong. Like he's very like skinny, but amazing strength on that guy. Seth Rollins, part of the Shield when he came up. He was champ for a while. This is going to be a very interesting match. Probably, I know the people that are in the know that are making predictions think Cesaro is going to win this match. I think Seth Rollins is going to win this match. If Cesaro wins, expect it to be because they're trying to give him a push for something.
Cesaro sucks. His finishing move is garbage.
I mean, he's been like he likes to pick people up like
by their feet and spin them.
And then spin them. And he could get up to like 20-25 times now. How he doesn't get dizzy doing that, I have no idea. And the people that he's spinning, like, they just end up like doing this with their hands. Or they'll like lay them out like this and you just 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, seriously, he could get up to 20. And that's like nuts. Nuts. And then we have Shane McMahon, who always appears come WrestleMania time.
Shocker.
Always. Wrestling a steel cage match.
Shocker.
Which I was surprised they made this a steel cage match and not Hell in the Cell. Because he's done Hell in the Cell before. Basically, the difference between a steel cage and Hell in a Cell, the top of the cage has a steel cage in Hell in a Cell.
And it's not touching the mat.
Right.
In steel cage, it's right around the ring.
Right. Not always, though.
Okay.
He's facing Braun Strowman.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, normally, like, this is a no contest. Braun Strowman would kick the shit out of Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is starting to get up there. He's probably not too younger than I am now.
I'm going to tell you who's going to win and how.
Go for it.
McMahon's going to win because Braun Strowman's going to throw him through the cage.
I could see that happening.
Kind of like what happened with Lesnar and what's-his-face back when
Roman
Lesnar...
Reigns. Yeah.
Or didn't actually win, but they called him the winner.
Yeah. I could easily see that happening, yes. Where Braun Strowman will basically be kicking the shit out of Shane McMahon, and then Shane will win in some fluky way just like that. So yes, I actually agree. I usually pick Shane McMahon to win every year, and he wins about 50% of the time.
He's going to hit one of his cross-ring
He will.
jumps. He always hits that.
He does have the ability to jump from, like, almost across the entire ring, which I believe it's... I don't know if it's 10 feet, 12 feet, or 15 feet. It looks a lot bigger on TV than when... If you've actually seen a wrestling ring live, it doesn't look that big. It looks about 3 times the size on TV. I will say.
It does look really big on TV.
Yeah, compared to what it is. So yeah, I'll take Shane McMahon to win in what would be considered an upset. Then we have what's probably going to be the dumbest match of the entire 2 nights. We got The Miz and John Morrison, and if you've ever heard me tell my John Morrison story...
I was 9.
For those of you that haven't heard me tell my John Morrison story, when he wasn't in the WWE, we went and saw... it was an offshoot of ECW.
It's like Hall of Pain or
it was
Hall
like
of...
Ring of Honor,
yeah, I don't know,
or the Pain or whatever. And we had ringside seats, front row, and yes, he was about 8 or 9 at the time.
So I'm about 70 pounds.
Not even.
Maybe.
Not even. So, but where we were sitting, like, we were outside of the ring. So, like, if you've ever seen a wrestling match that goes outside of the ring, they'll throw the wrestlers into the cage.
We're like in the corner of the ring, basically.
Yeah. So, when we sat down, I had told my young, at the time, non-genetically proven son, I said, like, we're in prime location to have something happen where a wrestler comes, like, being thrown right at us. We're in prime location. So at that time, John Morrison was the champion of whatever. I have no idea what he was the champion of.
Yeah.
And he was facing Too Cold Scorpio. And at one point, they went outside the ring, and you could see that it was coming. You could just see that it was coming. John Morrison tried to throw Too Cold Scorpio, and Too Cold Scorpio reversed it and threw John Morrison, and John Morrison basically was coming right at us. And he hit the steel guard right at us.
And then he, like, jumped up on it, or whatever.
Well, so the young man went running somewhere.
By running, I got up and moved over, so I didn't get hit.
You moved over quite quickly. Pretty sure you had to change your underwear after that. And the cool thing is, the person that was sitting next to you was the writer for a wrestling magazine,
and wrote about me.
and yeah, because I asked him to when he did a recap of the show on the internet. He said this little kid went running. I remember that. So anyway, Too Cold Scorpio comes at John Morrison, and he, like, chops him, and John Morrison jumps up where his ass is sitting now on the ring barrier, or the steel barrier that goes around separates the wrestlers from the crowd. And Too Cold Scorpio, like, chopped him a couple more times, and you see John Morrison, like, leaning back, and I, like, literally, he's right in front of me at this point, and I, like, take my hands and I, like, prop him up again on John Morrison's back. I'm like, I got you, John, I got you. This is what I actually said to him. I said, I got you, you're not gonna fall, I got you. Well, then Too Cold Scorpio kicks him.
In the face.
In the face. And he flies right back, and he bounces off my chest and falls to the floor right in front of where the non-genetically proven son was sitting. Should have been sitting. But by then, he was, like, on row 20 of the bleachers. Like,
I was, like, 2 chairs over.
So Morrison looks up at me. Like, I reached down to help him up, and he looks up at me and he goes, I thought you had me.
That was funny.
That was very funny. Very funny. I loved it. Very funny. I've sat ringside so many times at like the old ECW. I got kicked in the head once
By Taz.
by Taz. I've had wrestlers thrown on me more than once. That's lots of fun. So anyway, so we got The Miz and John Morrison against Damian Priest, who got called up a few months ago from NXT. And they always tend to have a celebrity wrestling at WrestleMania. And this is the match that has the celebrity wrestling. So you already know which team is going to win. I'm ashamed to actually say the name of this celebrity.
Rob Gronkowski.
He is a singer. Probably the dumbest name I've ever heard for a singer. Ever. So it's not his real name. It's a he. What in the world could be the worst name for a singer? Bad Bunny. I hear people saying, who the fuck is Bad Bunny?
Kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Bad Bunny.
So,
He's pretty popular. He was on Saturday Night Live not all that long ago.
yeah, Saturday Night Live's dead. Let's try something else.
Well, Bad Bunny is the guy's name.
So that means he's going to be sitting outside the ring most of the match. He's going to kick somebody in the balls, and that's how they're going to win or something.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a storyline building up to this where him and The Miz have been, jawing back and forth, blah, 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 blah. So you already know Damian Priest and Bad Bunny are going to win this match.
That sucks because both the John Morrison and The Miz are good wrestlers, and that's just kind of wasting talent.
Yes. Then we have, similar to NXT, there's a match where the winner gets to face for a title on Sunday night. And this is a women's tag team match. So you got Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Woo! Mandy Rose. Ay, 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 ay. I believe she was in Playboy. Versus the Riot Squad. Oh, Liv Morgan. Ay, 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 ay. Versus Natalya and Tamina versus Billie Kay and Carmella.
I think you're going to be rooting for Natalya and Tamina.
Oh, definitely, because they're hot.
There's your hotties right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least it's not Nia Jax.
Well, her and Shania, they're the champions, so they whoever wins this match wrestles them tomorrow. Wrestles Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler tomorrow. Or Sunday. So
that's a tag team. That's a lot of meat right there.
That is a lot of meat right there. I will tell you right now, when we get into the prediction on Sunday, whoever wins this match on Saturday is going to end up winning the match on Sunday. I'm going to hope it's the Riot Squad.
Nia Jax gets pinned because Shayna Baszler's actually a good wrestler.
Because the Riot Squad deserves a push. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if it's Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Because they've been kind of getting a push. Lana and Naomi, it wouldn't surprise me if Lana were to pin Nia Jax, because Lana has been driven through a table about 83 times by Nia Jax. So that wouldn't surprise me if they have that happen. Billie Kay and Carmella, I don't see that happening. Natalya and Tamina, poor Tamina. Tamina, by the way, for those of you that were around wrestling in the 80s, Tamina is the daughter of Jimmy Superfly Snuka. The actual daughter, not a pretend daughter, actual daughter. I have a story about Jimmy Superfly Snuka, too.
Oh?
Did I ever tell you the story of Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
No.
Oh, you're going to love this story. This is a better story than the John Morrison story. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, Tamina never gets a push on anything. So I would be shocked if they were to win. Which sometimes the team that will say will never win ends up winning. So my story about Jimmy Superfly Snuka, this was back in the 90s when I was working at a bowling center while I was going to college. It was a Saturday night, and whenever I worked till closing on Saturday night, we had jackpot bowl. And whenever we would, work till close, we would go down to Dempsey's and eat after we closed. Now, at that time, there was a Dempsey's across the street from Kmart. If people know where Kmart is in Shillington, around the area where I live. Well, there was wrestling somewhere in the area that night. Somewhere. So, get to Dempsey's. It's somewhere between 2:30 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And I shit you not, we walked by a car that was parked in a place that a light you could kind of see in. I swear to God, sitting in the car was Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Getting a blowjob. Yes, I shit you not. Dead serious. Dead serious.
Pretty funny.
I wonder if that was his girlfriend at the time. When did his girlfriend die? Snuka girlfriend death. Because he was dating a girl from Allentown that died. May 11th, 1983. So no, this was in the 90s. So this was probably 9 or 10 years after that. So anyway, that's my Superfly Snuka story.
Nice.
Yeah. There used to be a grocery store across the street from Dempsey's. In the middle of a huge snowstorm at night, when I was driving to my grandmother's house to sleep over, I stopped at the store to pick up something, and the only other car in the parking lot, there was a guy getting head in the parking lot. Yes. Yes. All right. 2 other matches on Saturday night. Ooh, and we got to get moving because it's 5 of 8 and I want to be done by 8. So we got the Women's Championship, Sasha Banks against Bianca Belair.
Champion.
You think Sasha retains?
No.
Okay. So you think
It sucks.
Bianca thinks the non-genetically proven son thinks Bianca Belair is going to win. I do not know if she's going to win this match. Eventually, though, she will be champion.
She's going to hit her with her really long hair.
She's really good. She's definitely going to get a push. Probably a better than 50% chance that she wins here. But if it doesn't happen, it will happen in the not-too-distant future. And then the main event of Saturday night is for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley, the champion, against Drew McIntyre, the former champion, who lost in a... there was one of those 3-way matches where...
Triple threat?
Yeah, a triple threat where Bobby Lashley... or The Miz pinned somebody, and then Bobby Lashley pinned The Miz like the next week. So Drew McIntyre actually never lost the belt. Like, he didn't get pinned. Bobby Lashley, I think, is going to win this match because, again, I don't think they're going to pull the title off of Bobby Lashley so quickly. And who knows, if they did, there might be charges of racism. Because, yes, Bobby Lashley is black. And he deserves to be champion for a long time. He's been in the WWE forever and has never really gotten a big push. And he should have... He's way past his due date to get a big push.
He was the first one to break the master lock.
Yes, long time ago. Night 2. United States Championship match. Person I hate against another person I hate. Matt Riddle against Sheamus. I don't really give a damn about this match. If I have to take a dump, I hope it's during this match.
Matt Riddle is going to win.
Matt Riddle is going to win. Kevin Owens against...
Got a big push, and then all of a sudden he died and never came back.
Yes. Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn. These guys have been friends. They've been enemies going back 20 years. They're both from Canada. And right now they're going to be wrestling against each other again. Probably Kevin Owens. Probably. But it's another match that if I have diarrhea and I got to go up to the bathroom again, I hope it's during this match. Intercontinental Championship. Big E against Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum match. Don't even know what the fucking Nigerian drum match is. I don't really care.
A Nigerian drum match?
Yes.
It doesn't sound like you like Sunday night's card too much.
Not yet. It gets better, though. Again, if I still have diarrhea and if I have to go to the bathroom a third time, I hope it's during this match.
There's a lot of if you need to go poop, go now matches.
Yes. And then we have the winner of the women's tag team title match against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Again, I think whoever wins Saturday is winning Sunday and capturing the women's tag team champions. Then we got The Fiend Bray Wyatt against Randy Orton. I personally think this is one of the easiest matches to predict because The Fiend, you haven't seen him for about 4 months now. He's been out on a break. They're not going to bring him back and lose. Let's put it that way.
He's a machine. He kicked out of what in one?
I don't know.
Like 4 Superman punches or something like that. A few
something
spears.
like that. Yeah. So Bray Wyatt is going to win this match. There's no doubt in my mind. What I hope happens is at some point there's a wardrobe malfunction on Alexa Bliss and you see her breasts. That's what I'm hoping for.
There you go.
Yeah. Then we got the Women's Raw Championship. Asuka against a person who has not wrestled yet in WWE in a singles match that just got called up from NXT, Rhea Ripley. I don't think... See, I think this is another match that's easy to call. I can't see them calling Rhea Ripley up and lose. You just don't see that happen.
Maybe they want to create something out of it, so I'll pull Asuka.
I mean, this was supposed to be... Can you guess who was supposed to be wrestling in this match against Asuka?
Alexa Bliss?
No.
Oh.
The one who always wrestles for a championship at Wrestlemania.
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. She got pulled because she came down with COVID. Supposedly, though, she's all better now. She constantly gets pushes, like constantly, for like the last 66 years, she's gotten a push.
It's because Ric Flair was a big name. It's somebody that people recognize.
Yes. Charlotte Flair, take her boobs out. She's got an extremely ugly body. It's a man's body. It really is. And I hate to say that. Ugly face, ugly body. And then we have the main event in a triple threat match. Roman Reigns against Edge against Daniel Bryan.
How did Daniel Bryan get in here?
He weaseled his way in the last minute. He basically demanded to be in because this was going to be his last WrestleMania, blah, 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 blah. Which means he's probably going to win.
No, he's going to get pinned by Edge.
I hope that's what happens. I don't see Roman Reigns coming out of this match with the title.
Roman Reigns isn't going to get pinned. Either Daniel Bryan wins by submission or Edge hits a massive jumping spear or something and pins him.
Yes, Roman Reigns is not going to be involved in the finish of this match. Of course, they can't have him get pinned clean to lose the title. Not Roman Reigns. No.
The big dog.
Yeah, the big dog. So, that's our wrestling predictions for WrestleMania. We went through Sunday night very quickly because, again, I don't care if I'm in the bathroom for the first half of the card.
Then eat some melted cheese or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
So it's 7:59. I got 1 minute till NXT starts, so it's time to wrap up the show. So have a great weekend. Watch a lot of sports this weekend because it should be a great weekend. So remember, we will see you Tuesday. Don't forget to vote in the Final Four. I would say let's see if we can knock off some number 1 seeds, but they're all number 1 seeds. So, as always, remember where we go on.
We go on.
We'll see you Tuesday.